This may sound like a strange question, but humor me. Is the yoga training that you think of buying for you, or is it for your students, existing or future ones? And if it is for you, is it for the present you, who is not yet a teacher, or for the future you, who may want to become one? There's difference, and I will explain why is this distinction usually overlooked. Hi, my name is Martin, and this is the tip number 5. I'm the co-founder and the lead teacher of Alpha Yoga School. At Alpha Yoga School, we have created a training courses that help you to start and grow your yoga practice. We show students how to grow in their yoga practice safely and how to become really confident and skilled yoga teacher. Now, in this tip number 5, I want to mention everything about the format of the training. In other words, is it on-location yoga teacher training or online yoga teacher training? Should you go to a training run on weekends and scattered over many months? Or should you come to an intensive yoga immersion somewhere in a yoga retreat center? But before we dive into the differences in the format, let's first ask ourselves a different question. Who is the training for? If it is for your students, you may prioritize the education over the environment, the faculty over the facilities. If you know for certain that the training is purely for your own enjoyment, then select the fanciest one you can afford. Please indulge yourself in a month of luxury. However, if the objective of the training is to acquire as much knowledge as you can and learn from the best teachers possible, consider where your money is going. Perhaps your king-size bed is less important than the curriculum and the ones teaching it. You can't learn all there is to know about yoga in less than 4 weeks. I'll say it again. You can't learn all there is to know about yoga in less than 4 weeks. But, and please listen, you can't learn all there is to know about yoga in 4 years either. Teaching yoga is a continuous process of theory informing practice and practice fueling theory. The training is just the beginning. When investing in property, we must consider the type of the building that we are buying. Is it a townhouse or a cottage, an apartment? Each property has its own distinct advantages and disadvantages. Yoga training is no different. Once you have considered what you want to learn, the style, maybe the lineage, and so on, and where you want to learn it, ask yourself, how do you want to learn it? When we talk about the type of training, we are not talking about the type of yoga or what is being taught. We are referring to how and when, for how long it is being taught. Most teacher trainings will be 50, 200 or 300 hours in length. Some courses describe themselves as 500 hours. However, this is usually a 300 hours course that only those with an existing 200 hour certificate can attend. The 500 hours is an accumulation of both courses. The same number of hours can be completed in different time scales. Intensive training is taught over the course of 3 to 4 weeks, 21, 28 days in total. Part-time courses could be taught on alternate weekends lasting up to 12 months. Often the type or duration of the course is down to personal preference and other commitments. For some, taking 3 weeks off to totally immerse themselves in the training is a clean break, but for others it's impossible. Attending alternate weekends over the course of 6-12 months works for some, but feels like a drag for others. There is a valid argument that part-time training allows more time for the consolidation and application of the knowledge. Whilst true, at least in theory, the time between the sessions is often unfruitful because work, family, and social life get in the way. In reality, we humans don't have infinite energy. The more we add to our to-do list or to our schedule, the more thinly we are spread. Rather than a transformational experience, the part-time training becomes yet another box to take off, yet another errand to run. In immersive training, your food is usually taken care of by the school. The accommodation is provided, the rooms are cleaned. Commute time is minimal, if any. Real-life responsibilities can be put on hold or delegated. Students can go all in. 100% of their energy is invested in the practice. This explains the rapid trajectory of the students on immersive training compared to those studying part-time. There truly is nothing quite like immersive training. Taking 3 to 4 weeks off work, away from family, friends, pets, and your favorite goldfish may seem like a huge decision, even a selfish one. However, the nature of the intensive training means it is finished in less than 4 weeks, not dissimilar to taking an extended and well-deserved holiday. Conversely, part-time training, which initially seems like a gentler commitment, can actually demand much more time in the long run. Imagine if Monday to Friday is occupied with our usual daily responsibilities and the weekend is packed with 10 hours of yoga. When do we rest? We have created a 7-day work week for the duration of the training. Now that we covered the difference between intensive and part-time yoga teacher training, let's mention the option of online yoga teacher training. It is the 21st century. Surely I can do all this online, right? You're not wrong. Since the pandemic, there has been a surge in online yoga teacher training. While this can be convenient, allowing participation from the comfort of your own house, real growth requires us to leave our comfort zone. Nothing can match the transformative experience of intensive month-long training. This is especially true when it comes to your first training. The immersive experience and the consistent access to lead teachers provide fertile grounds for learning. Furthermore, the social and professional connections cultivated when living and learning alongside like-minded people are priceless. The same relationships can be built online. Another limitation of training online is the inability to teach a group, to practice physical adjustments, and to experience what teaching in a studio will really be like. But training online isn't all bad. For some people, it is the only option. Just be sure to check a few things. First, if the training is designed to be delivered online and is not 100% live, make sure that the pre-recorded content provided by the school is of high video and audible quality. That it's not just a recording of some old Zoom session with clients sold to you as an online course. Online training is not inherently worse than those conducted in person. If the school addresses the limitations of teaching online, the experience can be great. However, in our personal opinion, online training should be reserved for advanced training. For students who have already completed at least a 200-hour training in person. Think of something like anatomy, philosophy, chanting mantras, and other niches where you do not have to be moved and you pretty much consume content only. But I would not recommend it for alignment, adjustment classes, teaching methodology, teaching practicum, and all practical workshops that you need to learn first with a real live teacher, being physically present and being able to give you physical, hands-on and verbal corrections right there, right now. Consider your investment wisely. When investing in property, we consider the reason for purchase. Is it a buy to rent, or do we want a quick sale for profit? Basically, Is the training a long-term investment that will continue repaying you for years, or is it a quick fix? It sounds obvious, but the longer it takes you to complete the training, the longer it will be until you can teach and earn from your classes. For some, the training is a means to an end. The certification is what they require. In this instance, the shorter the training, the better. Others may have no interest in teaching or prefer the extended time frame offered by part-time courses. It is impossible to say that one way is superior to the other, but if you were to ask our personal opinion based on years of experience, we would say that a month-long intensive is the best way to learn. So these were our first suggestions and questions to ask yourself regarding the format of yoga teacher training. Do you want to know what other things you should check for when choosing yoga teacher training? We created for you an ultimate checklist on how to choose a yoga teacher training that meets your needs and doesn't waste your time and money. Go to the video description and download it now. And if you're curious about the stunning locations where we run our yoga courses and the formats of courses that we offer, download our course brochure in the description link as well.